We are in the Netherlands, my home country, at the Circuit of Zandvoort, in the middle of the dunes. So it's called the Trophy of the Dunes, this event as well. And let's race.
We have the 7th round of the series this weekend here at Zandvoort. We have 3 races of each 25 minutes scheduled. And if Jake Dennis does well, he's able to secure the title 1 weekend before we end the season at Spa-Francorchamps.
Zandvoort is it's extremely bumpy. The Renault does not ride the bumps very well. The track goes up and down quite a lot, and there's a couple of overtaking manoeuvres, overtaking places which you can do. So if you start on the reverse grid, you can certainly make your way forward to the front quite quickly.
It's an old Grand Prix circuit, and so we're experiencing it exactly how the F1 drivers would have experienced it, 2 decades ago or so when they were racing on it. So it's definitely my favourite circuit on the calendar.
I used to have F1 cars racing around here, and it does seem a little bit mad to have F1 cars racing around this one compared to what they race on today, as they're a lot wider. This is quite tight and twisty through the sand dunes, up and down and bumpy, so it's a really challenging circuit, this one.
It's just a really nice flow to it. There's not too many sort of artificial corners which are sort of drawn on a computer. It's just very natural and fits into the contours of the land quite nicely. So. And also very challenging, and you've got to be a bit brave in a few places to find time. I think it challenges you quite well.
The track is fantastic here. I discovered this track 2 days ago, and I find it very exciting too.
It's very different to what we're used to in the UK. You've got the fast sweepers in the middle section, which is flat out, and in the wet particularly, that's quite a corner. All your curbs are quite small. You can nibble a little bit, but you can't abuse them. Like places like Hockenheim, turn 1, you can run straight off the circuit. Here, you've got to hit your apexes, and you've got to be right on that exit curb, full power. You can't use an inch more, else you're straight in the gravel. I think for me, that's the big key.
We have the honor to host the new Formula Renault 2 liters. The new Formula Renault 2 liters meaning the update for 2013 with a new monocoque. Most of the body parts have been renewed. So quite a spectacular thing for us here at Zandvoort.
Every 3 years we overwork the car, and this time we have a little bit more overwork than the years before. But I think it makes sense because the design is completely different. It's more a race car than the old one, and it's a good step forward.
It's an update. So that means we have a little bit different wings. We have complete different side pods, and the engine is the same. The upright is the same. The wishbones are the same. There are some technical innovations in this car. It's not a completely new car, but it will change a lot, yes.
You can see it here, that's our new Formula 2 liters. The car is lighter than last year. We have 15 kilo less than last year, it means this year. And we have more downforce, so the car would be able to be faster than the actual one.
The new car is really sexy. I really like the look of it. It looks like a Renault 3.5. Depends what we do next year, but hopefully I get the chance to drive it. And yeah, it certainly looks a lot more racier than these.
I think it looks great. It's a very pretty car. It looks a bit like a smaller version of the 3.5.
And there's more downforce in the new car, so we're going to have to find a new aero balance for that. The suspension part will be the same, but in combination with the aero balance, we have to find just a new setup. For me, that's a challenge, and of course, for the driver, it's a challenge to go faster, because it is faster with more downforce.
What our plan is for next year is to introduce the new kit for 2013, as well as allow the version that's running now. In this way, we would like the teams to give them the opportunity to adjust in their own pace, notwithstanding a new level of competition with a new car. Yes, it is our home race. We already had 2 successful, exciting races, and we're looking forward to the last one.
I mean, qualifying is very important wherever you go, really, but especially in Formula Renault, it's quite difficult to overtake in a Renault, and it's going to be more difficult to overtake in every rank above this, so qualifying is the most important part of the weekend.
It's reverse grid, so anything can happen. We have some newbies at the front, so I'm sure the first corner is going to be interesting, but I've just got to keep my nose clean and hopefully we can try and sneak in a podium. And yeah, 3 podiums out of 3 races would be a superb weekend to end the championship on.
The most troubling for me this weekend is the weather. It's like kind of sunny, rain for this track, and when it's kind of difficult to drive, of course, but now we got sunny and I think the track should be okay.
The initial start was quite good actually, off the line was good, but I was unable to get the traction. I had a bit of wheel spin, so that was unfortunate because then it gave him the chance to get back up next to me and get me around the outside. But it was good because I was able to keep the gap to the person behind.
I got another good start, but the others got a good start as well, so I couldn't really capitalize on that, but kept my position, and then I was in a nice fight with Jake Dennis. He did a solid job, fair racing, and yeah, it was a fun fight.
I had a really good start, but I couldn't really do much with it. My teammate was quite steady in turn 1, and I just had to sit on his gearbox and ended up getting done around the outside. So we're back to where, like, square one.
I brake in the first lap. I braked too late for the 8th corner and locked my front wheels. And yeah, I had a big flat spot on it. For me, it was good to drive the flat spot away.
Little mistakes, that's what's cost me the point difference to the lead, where normally, you know, I've beaten the leader a few times, and the couple of races I've not scored, which has given him a few points on me.
A difficult track here for this Formula Renault, but after 2 days it's going well.
I like when it's more a track with no runoff areas where you really have to be on the track to be quick, not a sheet to be outside the lines.
I think we had a quite good pace last race yesterday, so I think we can move up to P10 or something like that. It will be good.
Well, I had a good start and went around the outside at the first corner, and our tyres are in really good condition, so I managed to push quite hard at the start, got myself a gap. Then the safety car came out, so I was a little bit disappointed because I had quite a big gap.
Being behind the safety car, you're not just sitting there driving the car, you've got to focus on other stuff, so it just keeps your concentration levels up, focusing on keeping the tyres warm, keeping the brakes warm, and just thinking about what the restart's going to be like.
It was a bit disappointing, that first safety car, because I just lost a place. I was looking to get it back and it just breaks your flow and I couldn't get anywhere on the restart, so yeah, slightly disappointing.
This is definitely my favourite circuit so far on the calendar, purely because there's so much camber in every corner. It's so banked, and fast corners, slow corners, chicanes. A whole lot is in this.
We had a few problems with the brakes. My brake bias didn't really work, and from yesterday we were quite far forward, and then today we were too far forward for the track conditions, and I couldn't stop. I was locking up on the front so bad, and I was missing apexes, and this put me under pressure from Slegecki and Hill, and Slegecki did me on the brake, which was expected really.
The track was slippery, and I had some troubles, but I was catching the guys in front, but unfortunately there were safety cars, so I couldn't overtake a lot.
We still focus, and yeah, the first two were quite fast, but yeah, it's okay.
What we know is that there were two cars in front of Roman that were fighting with each other. Something happened there. One of the cars, I believe it was Stijn Schothorst, he crashed and then slid over the track, and Roman, he had nowhere to go, he couldn't avoid it, and slammed into this other car. What we know then is that Roman went to the medical center for a checkup. It was a heavy crash, and they did a checkup, but they now declared him okay, but he has to stay at the hospital for observation.
The midfield came to a collision, which was so serious and caused so much damage on track that we had to deploy the safety car and finally had to decide to end this race with a red flag and no restart.
It would have surprised me more if they didn't stop the race, and I think they made the right call. It's just a shame they didn't restart again, but I guess it was so severe that in those sort of circumstances it's more important what happens to the guys that were involved in the crash than the eventual result.
Well, not the way I wanted to win the race, obviously, and I hope that everyone's okay who had a crash. It looked quite bad, but a win's a win at the end of the day, and we made it count when it needed to be done.
I'm really happy. It's my second ever podium, and it's a huge step up from the results I was getting before, so I'm really happy with that. And it's just a shame I couldn't keep him behind for long enough to win the race, but that's just how racing is, and I'm going to work towards maybe winning next time.
I'd close up on the lead slightly, but the champion leader is a little bit further away just for one race, so I need to have a win in Spa, and I'm lying second in the championship, which is obviously encouraging for the years to come.
It wasn't really a proper race. We had 4 laps on a 25-minute race, so
it seemed longer. It seemed longer. So much goes on those 4 laps that I've got some racing done.
None of the 3 winners was Jake Dennis, which kept him from securing the title here at Zandvoort already.
we go into Spa on a 55-point lead, and yeah, I'm not bothered about today. It was a bit of a shame, but I certainly had to move forward.